Okay, let's get a little pendulum.
Ooh, crystal.
Okay, this is a pendulum. Would you hold it, please? Hold it up right here so it's nice and pretty. And here's what I want you to do. I just want you to hold it. But as you hold it, without shaking it, I want you to imagine the pendulum begins to move. The pendulum begins to move in one direction. And imagine it getting stronger and bigger. Now, are you moving that, or is it just swinging by itself?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's okay. We can find out, because if you imagine it begins to move a different direction, and it begins to move a different direction. Now, are you doing that consciously, or is it just happening? And it switches again, and it switches again, and it switches again. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes.
I'm not trying to make it switch with my hand.
All right. Now, this is called ideomotor effect. Ideo, idea, motor, movement. The idea moves it. So all you're doing is you just think of it moving one way, and just the thought alone causes your unconscious mind to move muscles in your hand or body that you don't normally consciously be aware of, but it happens. Now, here's the cool thing. If you look here, I have a card, and it just happens to have this direction, up and down, for yes. I'd like you to think of the word yes and imagine the pendulum moving up and down in a direction. That's yes. Now, left and right, just think of it moving left to right and think of the word no. Just left and right and no. There you go. Now you see diagonal this way. That's maybe. Just think of maybe and imagine it moving in this direction. That's right. Now the other diagonal this way, it says DWA on this card, which is don't want to answer. But imagine this direction and think of the response, don't want to answer. Now what you're doing is called calibrating. You're calibrating an answer card for what's called ideomotor questioning, which is a technical term you don't have to worry about, but it's there for you anyway. Now imagine it going clockwise. Just a circle clockwise, and that's RQ, or rephrase the question. And if you concentrate and imagine it begins spinning the other direction, a circle counterclockwise. And don't worry, it takes a bit for it to get used to it. It goes the other circle, going from one direction of a circle or the other. It's a little more difficult, but it'll happen. And imagine that circle. And that's NA or no answer. Now I'd like you to now imagine it going back to that maybe or ready position. Just the diagonal in the maybe or ready position. And when it goes to that direction, you can now, since you've calibrated the answers, you can now speak to your unconscious directly. Have you ever wanted to do something but you kind of didn't want to do it, or you wanted to do something but you kept screwing it up but you didn't know why you kept screwing it up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in English we have an expression of I'm of two minds about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well sometimes your unconscious and your conscious have two very different value sets. Here you can actually find out things. First, you can ask yourself questions you already know the answer to. For instance, are you a woman? And then we see what the answer is. You just think of the question, and then it will tell you the answer. And we'll hope it's correct here. And according to this, it's claiming yes. And go back. Then you, after you get the answer, you go back to the ready position. And then you can ask another question. Are you a biological woman? What is that, maybe? That's a yes. And you can go back to ready. Are you over 40 years of age? Here, your unconscious is claiming no. It goes back to ready. Then you can ask questions that maybe you don't know the answer to. But I won't ask those questions on the video. I'll let you ask those questions at home. For instance, are you gay, or do you want to go out with the ugliest person you've ever met, or something creepy, okay? Or should I rob a bank tomorrow? That sort of thing.
So you can do it by yourself?
Yes, you can. It's called auto-questioning. Auto, self-questioning while you ask yourself questions.
Cool.
Okay? That's called idiomotor response. And from your response, I can see that actually you're a very good trance subject.